a stack of lime wool, a full inventory of furnaces, dyeing sheep red, blue and orange. These are some of the weirdest and most obscure speedruns out there. The speedrunning community keeps coming up with these incredibly unnecessary categories.
Yes! 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 No!
And today, another one might get added to the list. To complete a run in this category, you have to name a sniffer. The challenge is that sniffers don't naturally spawn. You have to find a sniffer egg first and then let it hatch. To name him, you also have to obtain a name tag and an anvil. I'll be attempting to complete this challenge as fast as possible. And if you're asking why I'm even doing the speedrun and why the goal is what it is, I'll get to that later in the video. It's showtime! Alright, so the first thing I noticed when I spawned in is that I am in a savanna. And the savanna biome is actually like a warm biome. So there's warm and cold biomes in Minecraft, and we need a warm biome to find a warm ocean. The warm ocean contains the warm variant of an ocean ruin, which is what we need for the sniffer later. After getting some basic tools, including copper, that's important for later, I also get some food, and it took me an embarrassingly long time to find a chicken for a feather, which we also need for this item that we're gonna craft. So after smelting the copper, I crafted it together with the feather into a brush. The brush is actually the item that we're gonna use to obtain the sniffer egg. Since the sniffer takes a lot of time to hatch, it's smart to get the sniffer now and then do the other steps that we need to do, like finding a name tag and getting an anvil while the sniffer is hatching. So here I'm going on the ocean, trying to find the warm ocean ruin. On the way I also looted some shipwrecks for the iron and some emeralds that we're gonna need for the name tag and the anvil. Okay, so the way you actually obtain the sniffer egg is by brushing suspicious sand. So after brushing it with the brush, there is a chance that a sniffer egg comes out or a bunch of other items that are in the item pool. So I'm starting to brush the blocks, seeing if the sniffer egg peeks out. I can basically see that after just like brushing it a little bit. And then once I see that there's a sniffer egg, which the chance is pretty low, I'll fully brush it and then I got the sniffer ready. After doing that for a bit, it turned night, so I went out of the ocean and looked for a village, which I instantly found, to sleep, and getting a lot of wheat, which we're gonna use to trade with villagers to get emeralds. We're gonna use these emeralds later to get the name tag. There's a bunch of other ways to get name tags, but they are all incredibly unlikely, and the most consistent way is by trading them. By trading in the own wheat that the villagers owned and trading them with a farmer for emeralds, I get up to 28 emeralds pretty fast. And then I also found this other village, which I also sold their own wheat to them to stock up on even more emeralds. And spoiler, the amount of emeralds we have right now is nowhere near enough. Sniffers always take like 20 minutes to hatch when the sniffer egg is placed on any normal block. And the only way to speed that up is if you actually place it on a moss block. I didn't see any lush caves nearby, so when I found this in the chests of a shipwreck, that was like the jackpot. Because that just cut our time in half. So while looking for the sniffer egg, I had an encounter. To prevent this, I crafted a shield and got back to looking for the sniffer egg, all the while looting more shipwrecks for emeralds and iron. And after a lot of brushing, this happened. With the sniffer egg, I headed back to the village where I placed it, waiting for him to hatch. While that's happening, I am farming a lot of emeralds for the name tag. I'm gonna have to trade with a librarian villager to get the name tag, and here's actually a big time loss in the run, where I didn't have enough sugarcane with me to instantly make the bookshelf for the lectern. I mean, who am I kidding? There's a billion time saves in this run. I'm not a speedrunner. I just thought this category is fun to run, and that's why I did it. Anyway, then I crafted the lectern, and with the lectern, I can now start leveling up the librarian villager to master level. He only trades you the name tag at the highest level, so I have to level him up, and I wanted the bookshelf trade, but for some reason when resetting villagers, no one wanted a job. I don't know why that happened. Because I already knew that I had nowhere near the emeralds we needed, I got some fletching tables to trade more emeralds with the fletchers. And when I returned, someone actually took the job and had the bookshelf trades. These are painfully expensive, but we need to level them up. And the good thing about this is that we can mine the bookshelves that we placed for a later trade to then trade books with him. Anyway, that's when I went a lot of tree chopping for the fletchers for the emeralds. There's probably a way better way to get a name tag or get a lot of emeralds fast. I just did it the easiest way I knew. On my way back, I caught the first glimpse of our little Snifflet, and after trading a little bit more, we finally got to use our books that we mined earlier, so that we need to spend less emeralds on leveling them up. I then realized that we still don't have enough iron to make the anvil, so I killed the iron golem to get a little bit more, and then it was back to chopping down trees, getting the last emeralds for the name tag. On my way back from chopping down trees, I was also looking for just iron that I could smelt. Because we need 31 to make an anvil, and I found some in a ravine. The last bit of trading and leveling up our librarian, and there it is, we could finally afford our name tag. Now the only thing that's missing is the anvil, and with the mined iron, we just barely don't have enough. We have 27. Luckily another iron golem spawned, and we need him to drop at least 4 iron, and if he doesn't drop enough, I'd need to go mining again. Luckily, I got enough, and that's the last piece of the puzzle that we needed. It's the anvil. And now for the most important part, naming the Sniffer. It is in fact mandatory if you run this category that you must call him Snuffle. That's his name, he can't be named anything else. Don't ask. And with that, we have a final time of 46:34, which is pretty bad. That was literally my first try on a decent seed. I encourage anyone who wants to also play this category. I am probably going to do a follow-up video with Zara where we are going to breed 100 Sniffers, and I'll go a little bit more into detail as to why this category exists. I feel like if I were to explain that here, no one would actually care. Alright, that's it. Show's over!